I'd say the best moment I probably had, firm wise, not personal wise, but just kind of from taking it all in, was my wife and I went out to dinner a few months ago, and we were in a cab, and the cab went through Times Square, and TSX, there it is, it's done. It's all lit up, and there's people around there, and I was like, wow, look at that. The amount of sleep that I lost over that project, the amount of Sunday mornings of coercing people in the office with bagels and mimosas or something to try and figure out bizarre problems. And to think that that's all done is that's pretty awesome.
For those who are not familiar and don't live in the city, or should say maybe the tri-state area is a better question, who is TSX Broadway? What is it?
So TSX Broadway it's a project that we spent, gosh, about 7 or 8 years on. It is in the heart of Times Square, across from the TKTS booth, which is a landmark a lot of folks know, on 47th Street in Times Square. So what existed there previously is the Palace Theater, which is you mentioned before, it's a historic theater. Judy Garland played there. It was an old vaudeville stage. The last musical that was there was SpongeBob SquarePants, which I always find hilarious. But at any rate, in the late 80s, a renovation happened where they built a truss over the theater and they built a hotel, the Doubletree Hotel. But what they didn't do was touch the theater. They left it intact. So what this project did, and there's so many people who came up with these ideas and made it work, it would be impossible to name them all. But I mean, other firms, engineers. But what they did was they came up with the idea, and what we all finally did was we demolished the Doubletree Hotel. We took the Palace Theater, we raised it 30 feet
Oh my
in the
God.
air. And by doing that, by raising the theater 30 feet in the air, if you remember, the theater was entered, as a lot of theaters, from Times Square through this, small lobby where, probably smelled like cigarettes. We changed that. So you enter the theater now from 47th Street, and you enter to a small lobby, and you take a beautiful escalator and or stairs or elevator up to a lobby that's now on the third floor. By doing that, we've created all of this space on Times Square in the heart of it right there, which is, there's 2 floors of retail space. There's 8 or 9 floors of various areas that will now be available for types of entertainment space. The podium of the building is wrapped in an LED screen that has operable doors that open inward. And when the doors open inward, there's a stage that projects out to Times Square where performances happen. There's already been a few of them. None of the artists they're on my list of who I hope to see there yet, but there's a number of performances there. So that, and then we built the new hotel on top of it, just to keep it on there. So, I mean, there's a million different things. That's the very quick Reader's Digest version of it, but that's TSX Broadway. The project itself, some of the complications, aside from raising a historic theater 30 feet in the air, which had not been done before, were the fact that the existing building, by New York City zoning laws, was overbuilt. So that means that we could not make it a new building. If we tore down the building and just kept the things we wanted to keep here and there, it would be subject to the new zoning laws and would be substantially smaller. So the building had to be classified as a renovation, which meant we had to keep 25% of the floor area of the building, which doesn't sound too crazy until you think about the fact that we had to tear down the hotel. That was always coming down. And then we had to make a place for the theater to go. So we had to find a pocket in which for the theater to go, all while preserving the floor area of the building. So that in of itself was a crazy challenge.
Carol Schultz here. Thanks for watching this excerpt from Authentically Successful. The conversation doesn't end there. So if you want to hear this episode in full and all my conversations with many other successful founders and CEOs, please visit verticalelevation.com/podcast.